I've been toying with the idea of governance for a couple of weeks now, and it's very interesting because to me, governance is a big portion or it's a variable in the token economics framework, and I would say if it is one of the most important or probably the most important variable in the entire framework, governance. And governance is really big. There are a lot of things to consider in governance. And something that I've been kind of struggling or really debating with is the difference between rule of law or democracy. What's the difference and what we're going to talk about? So what I've been doing is really looking at governance from two perspectives, or three perspectives actually. One is the more theoretical perspective, so looking at understanding how systems are governed in general from a more theoretical perspective. And then I start looking at projects. A project that I really love, and I'm not paid by them, but MakerDAO is something I'm really interested in, and I'm trying to deconstruct MakerDAO to build them into a token economics report. So I'm working on that, and I really enjoy understanding the governance format. And lastly, which is a very interesting way of governance, is the most straightforward way, which is looking at how countries are governed, looking at how government runs, looking at the different kind of governance mechanisms in countries like China and US, in different parts of the world, how they are governed, and how can we bring these concepts or these benefits to token ecosystems. So today we're going to talk about rule of law or democracy, and that's something that I would like you to think about as well. So rule of law. What is rule of law? Rule of law, in simple sense, is really the law that's in place. So when we talk about countries where I'm looking at, it's the rules that's in the country. So the governance, the legislations, the code, the civil law, the case law, or whatever law that you have, it's there. So you can be the president, or you can be the toilet cleaner, which is who I am when I'm at home, and you follow the same law because it's the law that is equal for everyone. So it equalizes. No one gets special preferences. It's the rule. The law is the rule. And how does this translate into the crypto world or in the token ecosystem world? Is these are things that are code or algorithms that are embedded into the system. So things you can't change. So for example, if I decide to have 2% inflation, that's the rule. No matter what happens in the ecosystem, there'll be 2% inflation by the end of 12 months. So these are different kind of rules that can be encoded and put in place. This is part of governance because this kind of governance, you're fair. No one gets special preferences. It's encoded and in the law. The other method is democracy. So before you send your US freedom eagles coming to attack me in my house, when I talk about democracy, it's slightly different because unlike rules, democracy is flexible. It allows people to vote. It gives people that are participants in the ecosystem or in the country to vote, and for them to have a say in their choices, have a say in how the future is going to plan out or how the future is going to turn out based on what they believe or what they think should be in place. So what does this mean? So in a country, that means voting for your elected president or politicians or government or whatever. In the crypto world, it's slightly different because we have different types of voting mechanisms. We have different types of voting issues. So you vote based on the different things that arises. So now, the problem is, how do we balance both of them? Because we need to get with rule of law, it's something that's encoded. That's something that's a lot more difficult to change, something that's already in the system that it's difficult to alter. So rules, that's why they exist, and it's good. It's easy to follow. Everyone is equal. You level out the playing field. There is no preferences, no bias. On the other hand, democracy is good because systems are always changing. Not just country systems, but especially in digital token ecosystems, where a lot of things can change instantly because now it's easy to change things. So we need democracy. We need people in the ecosystem to be heard, their voices to be heard, for them to be voting, for them to have a say in the issue. However, one of the biggest problems with democracy, in my opinion, is that as we have decentralized power, decentralized authority, with power comes responsibility. And that means that people are now more responsible for their actions and their choices. And this is where a lot of problems come in when we talk about like information asymmetry. As a voter, I don't have all the information and it's difficult to make the right choice. Or maybe I don't have enough time to go and read through all the information to make the best decision. On the other hand, there's also a lot of issues like moral hazard, where one party knows more than the other and you can exploit them. It's a vulnerability. So at the end of the day, how do we balance rule of law and how do we balance democracy? How do we find the right balance? How can we ensure that the token ecosystem is governed with the right amount of digital democracy and digital laws in place, embedded in the architecture of the ecosystem? So what are your thoughts? How do we balance them? Do you think one should be more important than the other? And what do you think it's going to be like in the future when we talk about token ecosystem? Link here or share your comments below, and I look forward to reading them. Bye!